Hello, YouTube. What's good? It's your boy Rocha here, back with another San Francisco 49ers review video. And as you can see on your screen, the San Francisco 49ers move to 3-0 on the year as they defeat the Pittsburgh Steelers 24-20. It was not the best of games, but hey, guess what? San Francisco 49ers pulled through, are now 3-0, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are now 0-3. Let's get right into everything. Overall, this was a very, very sloppy game for both teams, not just the 49ers, but more the 49ers. 5 turnovers, 3 fumbles, 2 interceptions. Just an overall very sloppy game, but the 49ers are showing how resilient of a team they are by coming through and still winning the game despite turning the ball over 5 times. Let's get right into everything. Let's get right into the defense. Overall, the defense was phenomenal again, ladies and gentlemen. Again, the San Francisco 49ers defense stepped up, came through, and they won this. They mostly won this game for the 49ers. They allowed only 6 points off of 5 San Francisco 49ers turnovers. That's right. Only 6 points off of 5 49ers turnovers. That's insane. I understand maybe it was due to Pittsburgh's play a little bit, but it's crazy. 6 points off of 5 turnovers. The San Francisco 49ers, again, lockdown defense. They only allowed 250 yards, and over 100 of those yards came on 2 different plays. The San Francisco 49ers only allowed 2 passes that traveled more than 1 yard downfield, and that was the 2 touchdowns. That's it. Only allowed 2 completions down the field for more than 1 yard. Are you kidding me? That's insane. And again, they allowed less than 100 yards rushing. They only allowed 79 total yards on the ground. James Conner with the most, 13 for 43. He only averaged 3.3 per carry. That's incredible, ladies and gentlemen. The San Francisco 49ers defense has played so legit. So legit. They forced a pick. Kwan Williams picking off Kyle Rudolph. Almost said Kyle Rudolph again, ladies and gentlemen. Mason Rudolph on a great pressure by Arik Armstead. And they forced a huge fumble in the 4th quarter that allowed them to come back and get the game-winning touchdown drive. The secondary played great besides 2 plays. They were shut down all game long. It was so beautiful to watch. The defensive line played phenomenal. They only got 2 sacks, but the whole second half, they had pressure after pressure after pressure against a great offensive line. And they made Rudolph uncomfortable the whole second half. Let's get into some players. Arik Armstead had a forced fumble on James Conner and had the pass rush on Rudolph that caused the interception. He, ladies and gentlemen, has been an underrated, amazing player this year. 49ers might have to think to try to get him a deal. Maybe he'll take a team-friendly deal because he's not one of the big main names. But Arik Armstead, first round pick in 2014, 2015, has been phenomenal. He's having a breakout year for sure. DeForest Buckner had a great game. He had a sack and he forced a fumble of James Conner that led to the game-winning touchdown. He's been great again. Nick Bosa didn't record a sack, but he had a ton of pressure. He could have had a couple sacks, but he had a ton of pressure. He could have had, like I said, he could have had a couple sacks, but Rudolph was able to get away. But Bosa, man, he's looking phenomenal in his rookie year. But guess what? Now the 49ers have a bye week this week, and Bosa can get to 100%. D Ford, another great game. He didn't have a sack, but let's see, hang on. We quoted the 2 sacks. Buckner, and Ford. Ford had a sack. Yeah. So D Ford once again showing why we traded for him. He had a sack. He was in the backfield a lot as well. Same with Ronald Blair. He didn't have a sack, but he was in the backfield a lot too. I tell you what, guys, this team's great. Solomon Thomas, DJ Jones on the defensive line as well. They're able to stop the run. 49ers got to be top 5 in stopping the run. I mean, the last 2 weeks they've held the Bengals and the Steelers under 100 yards rushing. Witherspoon and Sherman were great again. We'll talk about Witherspoon in a little bit, but they had great coverage all game on Juju, Washington, Johnson. Witherspoon is having a breakout season, and he's looking like the star corner we thought he was going to be. Kawhi Williams had a pretty good day, pretty solid in slot coverage, had a pick on Rudolph. So that was great. The one negative, or let's say 2 negatives about this game, were the 2 touchdowns, a 79-yard touchdown by Juju, Witherspoon, and I think it was maybe Tre'Davious Moore missed 2 pretty much easy tackles that allowed him to score. And then Witherspoon got hurt. We'll talk about that more in a bit. Jason Verrett came in, got a pass interference call, and then allowed a 38-yard touchdown to Dante Johnson. I was pissed, if you guys were in stream, as you saw. But you know what? We're going to let Verrett slide. He literally came out on Twitter and said, hey, that's my fault. It's the first time I played in 3 years. He went right after me. I'll be better. So we'll let that one slide. But, yeah, those were the only 2 passes they allowed for more than 1 yard. There was a lot of dink and dunks to James Conner, Benny Snell. Kawan Alexander, ladies and gentlemen, he is a freaking stud. He had 7 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. I tell you what, guys, I want to thank the Bucs organization for allowing him to walk into our arms because, ladies and gentlemen, he is an absolute stud. Him, Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, our linebacking core is phenomenal right now. Our front 7 is playing like a top 3 front 7 in the league. Jaquaski Tart, our starting safety, he's not being talked about enough. He's been phenomenal in the run stopping. And he's gotten better in pass coverage this year. I've been watching him. And he's been phenomenal. He's had an underrated season for sure, guys. For sure. So now, let's move on to the offensive side. Let's get some stats for you guys. Jimmy Garoppolo, first, let's talk about the turnovers. 5 turnovers were awful. But the offense played well enough to get the W. That's the thing. Jimmy G. Let's talk about him. You know, he played way better than his stats shows. He threw 2 picks. Of course, the first one was not his fault. That was on Matt Breida. The second one, maybe Pettis could have fight for it better. But still, he played really well despite the 2 picks and the fumble. Of course, he had the game-winning touchdown to Pettis. I don't know how he completed that throw. There was 2 defenders on Pettis. He threaded the needle. Pettis fought for it, caught it. That was great. Ladies and gentlemen, say what you want about Jimmy G. You can say, oh, he's not that good. Oh, he still needs to prove himself. But ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Garoppolo is 11-2 in his career now. 9-2 as a 49er. And he's never lost a home game. So say what you want about Jimmy G, but he's a winner. His stats, 23 of 32, 277 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Was sacked once, which is really freaking great. We've only allowed like 3 sacks, I believe. 3 or 4 sacks for the first 3 games. Let's talk about the run game again. Over 160 yards on the ground again. 168 yards. Raheem Mostert, 12 carries, 79 yards. Matt Breida, 14 carries, 68 yards. Jeff Wilson had 8 carries for 18 yards. And, of course, the 2 touchdowns. But 168 yards on the ground. The 49ers are averaging about 170 yards on the ground through 3 games. That is phenomenal. That was absolutely phenomenal, ladies and gentlemen. So Matt Breida, he had an okay game. He had the drop that led to the interception of Jimmy G. No touchdowns, but again, he is clearly our number 1. He's our best running back. He's better than Tevin Coleman, Mostert, Jeff Wilson. He's clearly our best running back. Mostert did not have the best of games. Had 79 yards on the ground, but he fumbled twice. He got one back, and then he fumbled and lost one in the red zone. So he had a little bit of a fumbling issues. That's what was bad about him last year. But otherwise, he was okay. He was our leading rusher. Jeff Wilson, man, 4 touchdowns in 2 games that's being called up from the practice squad. He is clearly our red zone back. He's looked great, man. I'm loving what I'm seeing for him. He's going to make it hard on our team to send him down once Tevin Cohen comes back. We might have to keep him on the roster and just inactive him. Juszczyk. Let's talk about him, the best fullback in all of football. 3 receptions, 51 yards. But he had a phenomenal diving catch down the field. And if you guys haven't, go check out the highlight. He stiff-armed Minkah Fitzpatrick, who had a good game in his debut for the Steelers. He had an interception, a forced fumble, a couple tackles. But Juszczyk absolutely destroyed him with a stiff arm. He literally picked him up and chucked him to the ground. So good job, Juszczyk. Best fullback in the league. Let's talk about the receivers. Debo was all right. He dropped. Let's see the numbers first. Kittle, 6 for 57. Juszczyk, 3 for 51. Debo, 3 for 44. Goodwin, 2 for 41. Pettis, 4 for 20, but a touchdown. Debo, he dropped a beautiful thrown ball deep down the field by Jimmy G. He went up for it, had it in his grasp, went down, his elbow hit, and he dropped it. So that sucked. That would have been a phenomenal catch. But otherwise, he was all right. He made it up for it for the next drive with a couple good catches. Dante Pettis, welcome back. Of course, only 4 receptions for 20 yards, but he had the touchdown, the game-winning touchdown. He was able to fight through 2 defenders and catch it. Good to see him back. Hopefully he gets involved. Kittle has been quiet this year, but he's had a great year. Blocking-wise, he's always open. I feel like Jimmy G only uses him for a safety net. He knows he's going to be there. I don't think he's dropped or missed a catch yet from Jimmy G. He'll get his yards. He'll have a breakout game. I'm feeling it coming up. He'll have a game where he'll have 5 receptions for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. It's coming. Don't worry. Let's talk about our rookie right tackle, Justin Skull. He was pretty good, ladies and gentlemen. He didn't allow a single pressure, a single sack. The only problem was he did have 2 holding calls and an illegal blindside block, which I think was bullshit. That should have never been called. But other than the 3 penalties, Justin Skull, he looked phenomenal. He was great. Let's talk about somebody who wasn't so great. Mike McGlinchey. He was getting destroyed by T.J. Watt and Cam Hayward. He's great. I mean, he only allowed the 1 sack. That's it. So after that, but he'll bounce back. I think just Cam Hayward and T.J. Watt are better players than him, and they showed it. Hopefully he gets better by the time he faced Myles Garrett. Penalties were good. 49ers didn't have a ton of penalties. We'll keep improving on that. The only injury that came out of this game was a Killer Witherspoon that allowed Jason Verrett to come in and allow that touchdown. And his words, he doesn't think it's serious. He's getting an MRI right now. As of right now, I don't have an update. But he thinks he's going to be good to go to play after the bye week. So let's hope that's true. So again, guys, overall, sloppy game for the 49ers. But despite 5 turnovers, they were able to get this win. The defense is legit. The 49ers are going to have a top 10 defense this year, maybe top 5. They're going to just keep piling up the sacks. They're getting at least 2 sacks a game. They're getting at least 1 interception a game. I know they're top 5 in picks this year. But the defense, again, only allowing 6 points on 5 turnovers is phenomenal. The offense needs to get better, needs to stop turning over the ball. But this is definitely going to be a top 10 offense once Jalen Hurd comes back. Trent Taylor's actually out for a while. But Jalen Hurd should be back. Tevin Coleman should be back after the bye week. I'm liking what I'm seeing from the offense. I'd like to see the wide receivers get more yardage. I'd like to see Kittle get a little bit more involved. But overall, I'm liking what I see from the offense, and I'm loving what I see for the defense. So there you go, guys. That is the San Francisco 49ers and Pittsburgh Steelers Week 3 review. Once again, the final score, San Francisco wins it 24-20 to move to 3-0. Pittsburgh 0-3. Appreciate you guys watching this video. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that sub. Let me know your thoughts and comments below in the comment section. Hope you guys have a good Monday. No 49ers stream this Sunday as the 49ers are on a bye week. I'll see you guys for week 5 against the Browns. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you guys later.